Joanna, Queen Square has been something of a construction site for a long time. Now we hear it's closing completely for 4 days in September. Are we going to see an end to all this work, and will it then mean the introduction of the clean air zone?
Yeah, hopefully. So good to speak to you again, Richard. The reason why we are going to completely shut Queen Square down for 4 days is that we completely resurface it. And the quickest and the fastest way that we can do that is to shut it down. That will mean the end of works being done at Queen Square, and it will be good to go.
You're resurfacing, but then introducing new signage to go with the traffic lights that will be part of that clean air zone?
Yes. Well, they will be putting down lines, from what I can gather, and they resurface and then they reline. The lights won't be coming on until the clean air zone goes live.
Now that's going to be sometime next year. Can you be any more precise?
I'm not going to be any more precise because JACU, the Joint Air Quality Unit, who determine the clean air zone, which are a government body, have asked all clean air zones to hold back because of COVID-19. So we have pestered them to say, look, we want to go live, we want to commit and let people know a date. They have asked us to just hang fire on that because there are a few technical things that they want to make sure are in place. So it's not for any part of ours not wanting this to happen, it's literally because of government.
Now I'm hearing that there are, with COVID-19 in mind, going to be some compromises with respect to who pays what or who's allowed into the clean air zone. Am I hearing the right rumours?
No, that's not the case at all. We will still be a CAZ. We will not be charging private cars. We will be charging the HGV buses and small vans, as we've always stated. That will not be changing.
Now, currently we have some sort of bus gate systems in place at various points over the city. How is that working? Are you getting lines of concerned traders complaining about a lack of footfall? I mean, is it working to the benefit of the city or not?
So I'm always careful with these questions because there are always issues for and against things and how things have been working out. And there are different parts to these social distancing measures that were brought in. So we have clearly shut down Milsom Street. We have shut down Sheep Street, York Street and Upper Borough Walls. Those Upper Borough Walls, York Street and Sheep Street have proved very, very successful. If I'm right, there were a few traders that were against it and are now actually asking us to extend the time. Instead of having it 10 till 6, they want to have it later in the evening. So I think with all of these things, people feel uncomfortable when the world shifts around you. And then when it is shifted, you think, well, actually, this actually is working in a way I hadn't imagined. So certainly within the city centre, it has proved successful. We still have to have the park and ride bus go down Milsom Street for all kinds of reasons. We are looking to remove that and have it go somewhere else, but we can't just magic that up. There have to be a few technical pieces of work done around that. So I don't want to go further than that, other than to say that we are seriously thinking what other options that we have so that Milsom Street could actually be walked down and you feel 100% that it belongs to the pedestrian. I was also going to say that we have also brought other social distancing measures in to other parts of the city, Moorland Road, Lambridge, Larkhall Square, and I'm sure that you're aware that there are issues there. Now, again, sometimes I think you have to ask the question, where does the truth lie? There was a lot of, I would say, disgruntled behaviour in Moorland Road. It seems to be working fantastically now. The only place that we've had continuously movement of the barriers has been in Larkhall. I'm pretty sure that you might know that area yourself, but whenever we put them out, they get moved back in so that people can't properly social distance. I'm sure you're aware that there are certain traders that have gone into the press to complain about it and to say that their businesses have lost business. Now, they've also then gone on Twitter and said something the opposite. So I don't know where the truth lies. What I do know is the reason we've brought in all these measures are for public health. Come September, the universities in the city will be open. We have 2 major universities. Large numbers of people will be coming again to this city. How do we make sure that everybody stays safe? How do we make sure that we all stay healthy? We have had COVID-19 cases now in North East Somerset. We need to make sure that we keep businesses open. And the only way that we know how to do that safely and effectively at the moment is to make sure that social distancing measures are in place so that people feel safe if they need to stand on the highway. So I would ask that everybody respects where those barriers are and leaves them in place.
It's been a tough time for you. You've had a lot on your shoulders, Joanna.
That's for sure. I won't doubt that.
And lots of personal abuse on social media.
There is a certain amount of that. There are a certain amount of things that have happened to me. I won't deny that. But at the end of the day, I have been elected. I have been elected to be a leader and to be a decision maker. That's not an easy place to be. It's a precious moment, actually, I often think, in terms of it as a privilege that, you know, people have elected me to make those decisions. I will do my best to make those decisions. And if people make that space uncomfortable and unpleasant for me, I'm sad about that. But I will continue to deal with the situation and the questions that I have to continuously ask as best as to my ability. And my vision always comes back to, is the spaces safe for public and for their public health? Can our children thrive in this environment? And if they can't, then we have to make decisions that make sure that we can make those things happen.
You're part of an administration that came to power promising to clean up the air in this city. COVID-19 has sort of interrupted things, but is that still the long-term ambition? I'm not wanting you to say that we are, or the car is our enemy, but that the administration remains true to its manifesto, that ultimately people matter most of all when it comes to getting around the centre of Bath.
Well, certainly not just the centre of Bath. You know, having clean air for everybody across the whole of the city is important. There are pockets, you know, along the London Road particularly, where the air is not clean. And I have certainly stood there with banners before being elected saying, I want clean air for everyone. It's really important to public health that we have clean air. This administration is fully committed to this. And we will hope that we might actually be the first clean air zone city outside of London in this country. And if we can pull that off, I would be delighted, because we are really committed to this.
Here's a cheeky one for you, but earlier today I was talking to Dave Andrews, who I'm sure is well known to you as a member of the lobby for Trams for Bath. They've been talking to an American company who can come up with a tram that needs no overhead wires. It's powered by hydrogen batteries, and he's hoping that this is a system that might persuade the powers that be to seriously consider reintroducing them into the city. I don't know whether you would want to answer whether or not you think it's a good idea personally or as part of the administration. You know, say no comment if you don't want to say anything.
Well, what I would talk about is space. The highways is about public space, essentially. So at the moment, you have buses that go along that highway, and invariably their routes are stopped because of parked vehicles. So if we brought in trams, you would have to remove private vehicle parking, essentially. So whether we bring in a tram or we bring in a dedicated bus route, we're going to have to do something like that. And it's about creating that space and looking at that space in a way that is challenging to an awful lot of people. So mass transit, whatever it looks like, is going to change that space and those road networks. So I don't think it actually matters whether you're talking about a bus or a tram whether it's fueled by hydrogen or it has electric wires, you know, what you are trying to say to the private vehicle owner is, are you prepared as a citizen to give up your little bit of space so that the overall space is better for everyone? And that is our challenge in the city and across this country. Are we prepared, after 40 years of having the private vehicle and all the benefits it has given so many people, and I for one have a private vehicle too, recognise that am I prepared to be part of the whole group and make changes so that we can all be better for that? And that is the challenge of being in this role.